Welcome back to the Milman Podcast. I want to talk about dating and astrology signs. And in my opinion, how silly those astrology signs are. I'm not necessarily into them. I don't really read much into them. In fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, I used to read them and I'm like, oh yeah, I could relate to this. And then sometimes I'd read the wrong one and be like, oh yeah, I could relate to this. And then I realized, wait, that's not my sign. And then there were times where I read my sign and I'm like, well, this doesn't sound right. Look, whether you believe in it or not, it's on you. It's fine. Have at it. The thing is, a message to the dating world out there, okay? A lot of times when people go out on dates, they meet on a dating app actually, right? Or even in person, and the conversation's always like, oh, haha, you ask a bunch of questions, and then one of the questions is, well, what's your sign? And that's the question where I'm like, uh-oh. And it's not just because it's for me, I'm just saying in general, because I think this is counterintuitive and counterproductive for people to engage with in, because you're going to ask somebody for their sign. They can tell you what it is, and then you'll be like, oh, well, oh no, I'm not really compatible with that sign. I don't think we're going to make a good match. And even if you give the date a chance, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go in with an open mind. I'll check anyway. I feel like subconsciously you already made your decision. It's interesting because I was just watching a Breaking Bad clip where, spoiler alert, okay, for those who haven't seen Breaking Bad and might want to watch it, but most people probably saw it. In the last season, Hank, the DEA agent, he was basically at gunpoint, and this group of neo-Nazis were going to kill him, and Heisenberg was begging them not to do it, and he offered them money to let him go. And he tells Hank to tell them that it's okay, he's going to keep his mouth shut just to let him go. And Hank tells Heisenberg that he's a very smart guy, but he's too stupid to see that they made their decision 10 minutes ago. And then, he was right because they shot him right away. Okay? So I feel like by, talking about signs and having somebody tell you what their sign is, you're already, and if you're into this stuff, you're already making a subconscious decision about this person. Okay, now let's say you didn't know what their sign was, right? And you fall in love and you're like, wow, this is such a great person. And then what? You'd find out what their sign is. And then what? You'd say, oh, well, oh, no, this is not going to work. This actually reminds me, again, spoiler alert, of Seinfeld. Elaine Bennis, she met the love of her life. They were so compatible. She was into him in A to Z, except when she found out whether or not he was pro-choice or pro-life. And I'm thinking, like, what difference does that make? Okay, fine. So you disagree on certain things. They both seemed like rational people. It's not like they were extremists. Both were not extremists. They were very chill when they had that conversation also. So who cares? So same thing. So I feel like people should just lay off. It's already hard in today's climate to find somebody, even as ironic as it sounds, in major cities like New York City, for example, with millions of people. Still very hard to find somebody, and people have trouble. And now you're going to limit yourself based on signs, astrology signs, really? I think stay off the signs. If you want to find out later for fun when you're already with the person, fine, great. But you're really going to limit yourself? Because what if that person is amazing and you're going to make the wrong decision based off some information that may not even be relevant? Think about it. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time.